Hey guys, we have a new moon in Scorpio to talk about. This is a really big one. This cycle is doing a lot of things. It's kind of doing all the things. It's beginning a new 2-year cycle that's going to be unfolding. It is ending a 2-year cycle as well that has been unfolding, and it is also marking the midpoint in a 2-year cycle that we are like halfway through right now as well. That is because this one new moon, first of all, it's in a conjunction to Mars. So the sun and the moon are coming into their once monthly alignment this month in the sign of Scorpio, but in a conjunction to Mars. Mars conjoins the sun about once every 2 years. And when we have a Mars-Sun conjunction going on, this marks a new beginning somehow in terms of usually some capacity of personal growth in one area of our lives or another that plays out, comes to fruition over the 2-year process, while the sun and Mars come into their squares and their opposition and finally back into their conjunction to begin a new cycle. So we are just about this new moon on the 15th. Actually, we have the exact conjunction of the sun and Mars, and this new moon is happening on November 13th. So we are right there. This new moon cycle is very much also representing sort of this new beginning that we have coming up within the first 2 days of our new moon cycle. Now, in terms of the cycle that is ending, this new moon is also, like I said, culminating a 2-year cycle of energy, and that is because we recently have had the nodes of the moon transiting the signs of Taurus and Scorpio for essentially about the last 2 years. Now, they did switch signs, move into Aries and Libra this past summer. So we already, we've kind of moved through this period of time a little bit, but, we just culminated with our last full moon in the sign of Taurus, the last eclipse in the Taurus-Scorpio axis of energy in relation, to that 2-year nodal transit of the nodes transiting Taurus and Scorpio. So even though they are in Aries and Libra right now, actually this last lunar eclipse that we had with our full moon in Taurus was the last eclipse in that eclipse cycle that had been implicating that Taurus-Scorpio axis, and it takes, that was about a 2-year cycle as well, about an 18-month 2-year transit with, actually about an 18-month, so about a 1.5 2-year transit of the nodes through Taurus and Scorpio. And this new moon right here, you guys, if you've been following my channel, I've been talking about the significance of the window period that is actually closing right now with our new moon energy coming into fruition, and that is this 2 weeks between that lunar eclipse full moon that happened on October 28th, that was the last eclipse in that eclipse cycle, Taurus and Scorpio, moving us towards this new, releasing us finally from the karmic detox, I was calling it, that was associated with that cycle of nodal energy that we had with North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio. So as we have the sun and the moon aligning in Scorpio right now, moving us forward into this new cycle of energy that is also being represented by the sun, the moon, and Mars coming together, we do have the ending, the finalization, the final release, from all that has been building, coming to fruition over the course of that cycle of energy, that eclipse cycle in Taurus and Scorpio. So endings and beginnings. This is something that we have been really dealing with very heavy-handedly throughout the course of the entire 2023 year, and there is definitely an exclamation point going on in regards to those themes, especially, over the course of the past couple weeks, but definitely moving through this new moon cycle we have coming through with our Scorpio alignments on the 13th, And as I said, it's not only, ending, culminating this cycle, and also representing the beginning of this new cycle, we are also at the midpoint, of a Mars-Uranus cycle. And Mars takes about 2 years to transit the entirety of the zodiac. It takes Mars about 2 days to transit any degree. So whenever we're talking about Mars in a transit, in a cycle with another planet, this is generally going to be approximately a 2 2-year cycle, you know, give or take, as a result of Mars's retrogrades, okay? Because that can, you know, add time to that whole situation. But we're generally talking about a 2-year cycle when we're talking about a Mars transit. And right now, we also, if you guys have been following along in the astrology, just completed, and which is also very much a feature of this new moon that we have going on right now, a Mars-Uranus exact conjunction. This new moon, and I'm sort of just giving some background on the new moon right now so you guys can understand like where we're at sort of in these greater cycles of time, cycles ending, cycles beginning, midpoints of cycles, and then we're going to talk about the exact energy that we have, you know, the most important influences associated with this new moon, what it's likely to be doing for us, what the general feel of the atmosphere and the vibe of people is probably going to be, and also, you know, of course, the best ways that we can use this energy to navigate these more choppy waters and unpredictable times over the course of this next couple of weeks. But, you know, back to where we're at, sort of setting the stage for the energetic analysis that is to come. We are halfway between, we've reached the halfway point in a Mars-Uranus cycle that began August 1st of 2022 and will culminate in 2024. So things that started also around, you know, the beginning of August 2022 may also be coming up right now in some type of significant way for some type of like evolution or progression or just a greater emphasis or like the next phase in development somehow associated with things that began back then. Also coming into fruition right now, okay, you guys? So all of that laid on the table, the main objectives associated with this new moon that we have coming together is an almost exact conjunction to Mars, Sun, and Moon, conjunct Mars, and also Sun and Moon opposite Uranus. This is really huge. This is really powerful. Like I said, this particular cycle right here, I mean, first of all, we're talking about a new moon in a conjunction to Mars. This is going to be a highly, highly energized cycle, especially in relation to all of the Mars archetypes and dynamics and characteristics and octaves, which we're going to be talking all about in this report. And if you guys have been following along with me, you know, we've been talking about consistently, at least since the beginning of November, because this whole month of November is like totally Mars dominated, Mars influenced, Mars oriented. Mars is really like running the show throughout the course of this entire month. So of course we've been talking a lot about Mars. We've also been talking about a lot about Uranus. Uranus is the great rectifier, you guys, the galactic fixer. Uranus makes the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. Uranus is also associated with the future and with like altering things in the present in order such that a certain future can unfold, in order such that certain dominoes can like tip over and knock the next one and next one, so that like a chain of events can unfold according to a higher plan, so that like some level or layer of potential or destiny can be activated like in divine timing for some greater purpose. So when we're talking about a lunar cycle that is going to be defined by Mars, energy, action, you know, war, willpower, motivation, but also this passion, this dynamism, and also Uranus, the lightning planet, the planet that electrifies everything, ruling awakening, ruling rebellion, ruling revolution, but ultimately for the purpose of putting things right and getting things back on track, shaking us out of any rut that has been preventing us from seeing or you know, moving along a path associated with that potential or that layer or level of destiny that we need to activate right now as we are currently transitioning into an age of Aquarius, where, you know, it's going to become more and more crucial for us to sort of align ourselves with these Uranian frequencies that are coming in, since that's a defining vibe of essentially this entire next age that we're going towards right now. A lot of the things that are happening are going to lead to these like energetic upgrades that help us to actually become better vessels of the incoming frequencies associated with this incoming age of Aquarius. And we talk about the age of Aquarius all the time in this channel. I'm not going to go too far into like what all that looks like in this particular video. However, it's got all the indications, you guys, of, you know, on one hand, just being this very dynamic, volatile, eruptive period of time, but also being this period of time where there is this spark that is like awakening us and just like triggering these like personal rebellions and personal revolutions for the purpose of actually like restoring some type of authenticity or some type of truth or some type of value or some type of purpose or some type of potential. Ultimately, this is universe putting things back on track. This is order that will eventually come through chaos, but it's according to universe's plan in these circumstances, and not you know, the powers that be or governing influences of humanity maybe like setting the stage to have things unfold according to their plan. This is a higher power shaking things up in a way such that like when the cards fall, things are in the proper position for what universe, what God needs to happen next to happen in order to make sure that we are, you know, the age of Aquarius that we are headed towards is coming together according to the cosmic blueprint that is activated right now, okay? We're in some very important, very crucial energetic times. I've been saying, you know, I feel like these 2020s, this, you know, 2020, 2021 up through, you know, 2025, 2026, like this will be a period of time when we look back in the history books where everything happened. You know, they say centuries happen, you know, history is made within a couple of years, and this is, I feel like this is the period of time when we look back and a lot of the stuff, you know, that is pending has not totally materialized yet in a way that we can necessarily perceive, but I'm telling you guys, like, things are happening, things are changing, and this is probably going to be a very active period of time that we are heading towards right now. Now, before we really get into the energetic analysis of all of this, there's some numerology, again, that is coming through, and I mean, we know surface value, okay, this is peak volatility and this is unpredictability, but it's also bringing in elements through this numerological influence that I see very present as well, elements of balance, okay, oppositions, and a need for order to be restored, and need for proper like purpose and potential to be placed in such a way that it is able to awaken and grow in like along this certain trajectory right now according to this like organic proper potential that is being ordained to bloom at this particular point in time. All right, so for better or worse, I am seeing a lot of this having to do with, again, like reordering things, reorganizing things, balancing the scales somehow, restoring this proper universal order to things, evening things out. Balance generally is likely to be a strong theme right now, and also harmony, okay? There is an energetic emphasis on the vibe of like attracting like, but also on the vibe of opposites attracting. However, this is also bringing up polarities, like mirror images of things, fierce and radical oppositions, and as I've said, rebellion and revolution. Things that are no longer in an energetic alignment with each other, being like fiercely repelled from one another. So there's this fierce opposition and also this electrified attraction that I feel like are going on simultaneously, likely to be a very strong and emphasis on self versus others, okay? Also on like personal truth versus projected facades, and also like deals and resources and negotiations and like agreements and stuff like that. Partnerships, justice, judgment, and victory. Also, like a lot of this could be leading towards some type of sudden reversal in judgment, or some type of like sudden victory, or like justice or balance restored in some type of way. But again, it's like this revelation, this like sudden understanding about something, perhaps like this awakening, triggering this rebellion and this like metamorphosis or transformation or revolution that comes as a result of that. And actually, you know, we're getting a big burst of like authentic something, authentic truth, like the true colors coming out, seeing things for what they really are, like some type of just sudden shocking revelation or change in circumstance or something like that, or like something that's been going on behind the scenes suddenly being revealed in some type of very dynamic way. However, as we move through the rest of this month, there's like, it's like whatever sort of like is electrified in the energy right now of the new moon, there's probably going to be some type of resistance, some type of conflict that comes up as a result of it, actually, as we move towards the full moon. Because we've got this Mars-Uranus energy right now with the new moon going on. But as we move through the month and towards the full moon, we're actually going to be having Mars come into a square with Saturn as well. There's likely to be themes of like, you know, this idea of rebelling against authority could be really, really strong, sort of as just like a general theme in the context of like cause and effect that plays out over the course of this next couple of weeks. All right. So, you know, these are some of the key energetic themes that we've got going on. There are likely to be some explosive or significant events, like I said, you know, that happen either over this next couple of days, over the course of, you know, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like this period of time, but, you know, Wednesday as well, with the Sun and Mars coming into an exact conjunction that begin, remember, we are heading towards the Sun-Mars conjunction that is a facet of this new moon. New moons are our seed planting energy, you guys. Whatever energy is present as at the new moon, that is what is going to grow, that is going to unfold, that is what is going to develop throughout the course of, you know, this entire month. So to have this proximity of Mars, the Sun, and the moon so close for our new moon, you know, this is telling us this energy is building, this energy is growing throughout the course of the lunar cycle. And of course, once we get to the 15th, that is actually when we have the exact expression of this energy. But it is beginning this new 2-year cycle. So actually, it's not just one lunar cycle that this particular Scorpio cycle is in charge of. This particular new moon and Scorpio cycle is actually determining the energetic thumbprint, the energetic blueprint of actually like kind of the next 2 years in relation to this Mars-Sun cycle. So that's why I wanted to open the report with that and just, you know, let you guys know that this is part of something bigger, and what comes together now, what sparks up now, again, like maybe what's electrified or, you know, is holding a greater prominence in our mind right now, is likely to be initiating, right, this chain of events that's going to unfold somehow over the course of this next couple of years. Because of the opposition to Uranus as well, and us being halfway through the Mars-Uranus cycle, this could also have to do, again, with things that happened around the beginning of August in 2022. And we could also see, because this is the new moon that is finalizing and that we're finally moving beyond this eclipse cycle, Taurus and Scorpio, that has been coloring the past 2 years, like this could also feel like a brand new rebirth. Like this could feel like a personal metamorphosis, personal transformation, where we are on like a deeply energetic and like psychic level being released from a lot of the attachments that have held us hostage to some things, or have kept us powerless also on some capacity in some way over this course of this past 2 years. So again, you know, this is a significant period of time in relation to the past, in relation to the future, and also in the context of things that started that are at their midpoint right now as well. And so if there are things that seem to be exceptionally like just crazy right now, or having like a special weight to them somehow, it's because of all of that. All right, again, extreme dynamism in the atmosphere right now. The numerology, the numbers expressing sequences of 1s, 2s, and 3s. I saw this going on for my video about Mars and Uranus in opposition as well, the last video that I had out for this past weekend. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about this numerology before we go deeper into some of these themes that are being presented by the astrology. The date, okay, November 13th, 2023, that's 111323. breaks down into 11. This is a master number, which has also been holding a strong relevance right now. If you guys did watch the last video, I was talking about how the date when we had that Mars-Uranus opposition, that was 11/11. And prior to that, when we had our Mars-Jupiter opposition, that also happened at 11/11. It was 11 degrees of Taurus, 11 degrees of Scorpio. And we also had 22s coming through very strong with our Mars-Uranus opposition. And we have 2s coming through again right now. And we also have 3s. 1, 1, 1, there's 3, 3, there's 3, 2, 3, there's 2 more 3s, right? And we just, it's 1s, it's 2s, and it's 3s. These break down into this 11, like I said, which is this master number that also breaks down into a 2. We have the positions, okay, the degree placements of our new moon itself. It's actually happening at 20 degrees, 43 minutes of the sign of Scorpio. That's where the new moon is aligning exactly. But when we read the Sabian symbols, which I do on this channel, we round up a degree, we look at the wave of energy that's coming in. So I'm looking at 21 degrees of Scorpio for the position of our new moon, 21 degrees of Taurus for the position of the Earth, always in an exact opposition to the new moon. We also have Mars at 23 degrees of Scorpio, and we've got Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus, 21, 22, 23, 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 3, these ones, these 2s, these 3s, these progressions of numbers, and also the focus on the number 2, on the number 11, and the numerological significance in the context of what the astrology is also presenting to us. So new beginnings, right, with all of these ones, and we know that we're starting a new cycle of personal growth or activity in some area of our lives with Mars and the Sun coming together. With this emphasis on the number 11, you know, this is a part of this divinely aligned, divinely oriented, divinely timed, like cosmic code that is being activated right now. And, you know, this unfolding plan transitioning us vibrationally right now into this age of Aquarius. Also the number 2, right? Balance, equilibrium, oppositions, the number 3, creation. And with all these 1s, 2s, and 3s, this is this progression energy. So there's a major theme, I feel like, coming through of like the numerology associated with the number 2. Again, like for better or for worse, you know, the balance, the harmony, the compatibility, but also the oppositions, the polarities, like the contrast as well. And we're talking about these 2-year cycles also that we have going on, ending, starting, beginning, and then there's 3 of them. You know what I mean? It's just like these 1s, these 2s, these 3s, new beginnings, balancing things out somehow, or, you know, reflecting on mirror images, polarities, choices, decisions, options as well. And then in the number 3, but it's like the 1, the 2, the 3, the progression of energy. And the 11, things happening according to a proper sequence of events, like a proper chain reaction taking place, being set up right now by whatever's being triggered, activated in this Uranian energy, okay? And also, I feel like on the more subtle levels, or maybe not so subtle for some people, this is recalibrating our energy body. Like it has to be in our relationship to the energetic frequencies and vibrations in the electromagnetic fields around us as well. I do believe that this 2 years of this next Mars Sun cycle, because of the presence of Uranus and because this is happening in Scorpio, I do feel like this is actually going to make us much more sensitive and receptive to like psychic impressions, and actually aware of our own sort of like internal antenna and our ability to pick up on these subtle frequencies and, you know, shifts in the vibrational fields around us, and just have like sort of a better idea maybe of how to act instinctively based on our intuition. I think that that is also something that we're going to be learning kind of collectively, maybe in a not even a very conscious way, maybe in a more subconscious way, but I think that people are going to start suddenly and instinctually reacting to things, or feeling more of this like deep compulsion to act on or initiate action towards maybe like opportunities or like situations, or just like the circumstances that are like suddenly unfolding in front of us, maybe in ways that are like generally out of character for that specific type of person. People are going to be, over this next 2 years, much more real as well. And I'm telling you guys, people are probably going to be acting in ways that like shock you and exposing sides to themselves that you never knew were there, but are just suddenly like coming out in these like random situations. This is also, you know, it provokes a very ungrounded, reckless, careless energy. I've been stressing over this past several days, you know, situational awareness, observational awareness, self-awareness are truly our best friends moving through this energy. And it can also just represent like random freak accidents, explosions, these like powerful storms, electrical storms, things to do with fire and water and electricity. I do recommend caution when it comes to things having to do with fire, water, and electricity, just taking maybe some extra care with things, making sure that you are not being in any way careless or reckless over this next couple of days. Again, especially if there's anything that could, you know, lend on the more danger side or having to do with like high voltage and stuff like that. There will be also like, Uranus can be an accident prone energy, but I have also noticed when stuff like that does like manifest under this energy, a lot of times there is like a very silver lining to it, or almost like a literal miracle that somehow manifests as a part of whatever process is unfolding along those lines. So while, I mean, and that's what Uranus does also, you know, Uranus does, it is the lightning striking the tower, but it's also like as you're falling from the tower, somehow miraculously falling into like the softest bed of flowers so that you land without a bruise. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't take away the, you know, perhaps trauma associated with the experience. However, there is usually some type of just like miraculous occurrence associated with whatever chaos or calamity or crisis situation that, you know, some of this, Uranus energy can also provoke. But I want to say, you guys, you know, while and sudden attacks, like I can't forget to say that as well. It's like quintessential of Mars and Uranus coming together. This just aggression or anger or battle or warlike conflict, whatever, just totally coming out of nowhere, completely unexpectedly. That could be a part of this experience right now. But it is also like there are also going to be positive things that are happening for people. Like this is also, we got to remember, like, there is an energy associated with this that also has to do with like sudden victory, like justice restored, like fairness put back on track somehow, or like the actual degree range where this new moon is happening according to the Vedic system and the nakshatras associated with that, which I have been talking about. I talked about in my November overview. I've been sort of talking about as we've gone through the month of November as well, because we are dealing in this Uranian energy, which is so unpredictable. So I'm sort of looking everywhere I can to get hints about how this energy, you know, might be impacting. And the specific degree range, 21 degrees of Scorpio from our Western perspective, actually, if you look at it from the Vedic sidereal perspective, it throws it back to Libra, and the nakshatra, or the degree range of that sign, is a nakshatra that has to do with victory and justice and like peace and balance and harmony and gaining some type of insight, okay? But like having some type of success at something. It's like the triumphal archway is the glyph for the symbol for the nakshatra associated with the placement of Mars right now. So, and Uranus is the galactic fixer. So, and we do also right now have Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces, and 0 degrees is a prominent degree in the zodiac as well. And of course, Saturn also representing judgment. And Venus, this is another thing I've been talking about. Venus is ruling the position of Uranus. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. Venus right now is in the sign of Libra, strong in her home sign of Libra. So this also lets us know that a lot of the changes, the sudden changes that are happening right now, or even the sudden attacks, or the dynamic, like explosive events or whatever, like there is likely to be a degree of like, and all these twos as well, like balance or a need to restore some type of justice or some type of order, a need to rebalance the scales in a more proper or just or authentic way somehow, that is like triggering off these dynamic like events and stuff like that. So despite, okay, you know, the more crisis-oriented connotations and tendencies of energy like this, there's also a very strong energetic suggestion that there could be some very significant writings of things, rectifications of things, rebalancing of things in a way that restores order, that restores truth, that restores authentic value, and that actually like allows for this next divinely ordained, all these 11s, right, sequence of events to unfold. Okay, so it's a lot, you guys, but the best things that we can do with this energy is to, number one, not become a container for it. Okay, we do not want to allow this energy to get pent up within us and sort of like wreak havoc on our lives because we're just containing it. Okay, to use this energy properly, to get the most out of this period of time, I want to actively and consciously put energy into doing something different, to changing or transforming some component of ourselves or of our inner or outer world somehow. This is a time of active transformation, awakening, like, and it's active transformation for the purpose of restoring a layer of authentic truth. Again, like, this is a cycle that represents to me the death of the facade, okay? The death of the false image, the false pretense. As we move through the rest of this year, I feel like following this particular activation, the value will be placed in that which is authentic, that which is real, that which is a true representation of what it claims to be, and that which is transparently so. Okay, I think that anything that is detached from, or that is putting up any type of facade, or that is trying to align itself with any type of image that, you know, we can feel on these more subtle levels. Because remember, there is this tick up in the spidey senses, in our ability to feel vibrationally truth, essentially, like what is real and what is not. People, like, it's going to become much more difficult moving through this period of time for people to lie in any way. Okay, microcosm, macrocosm, we're all over this next 2 years with the Sun Scorpio cycle that is, or the Sun Mars and Scorpio cycle with Uranus. It's like we are all psychic detectives, and to the point where like we can feel your falseness, you know what I mean? So that's gonna have ripple effects and maybe some ways right now that we can't really define because we don't have the like the future oriented context to perceive, you know, what this could be doing as it comes online and comes into fruition. But we want to be, what we do know is that we want to be, on one hand, this is a very good time to begin to trust your gut more and to maybe follow some of the instinctual compulsions that come to you. Like if you're in a situation and something happens and you get a compulsion to act maybe in a way that you wouldn't normally have in the past, maybe this is something that you now, we're not being reckless or careless, right? But this is a spontaneous energy, and this does favor impulsiveness. It does facilitate the success of impulsive actions to one extent, as long as we are not being impulsive about sort of like an emotion. Okay, this is like, it's not these like compulsive emotions to control things causing us to take spontaneous or reckless actions. Yeah, it's like us finding ourselves in a unique or unusual situation that would call on maybe some like special component of ourselves that doesn't come out much to come out, and like we act on it in that moment, and maybe we surprise ourselves or others with our ability to handle the situation that maybe we didn't even know we were prepared to handle, or like that featured a level of our personal uniqueness that we don't showcase often. So it's like seeing other layers of people, seeing other dimensions of people, and discovering other dimensions of ourselves also that have been latent or that have been just not something that we broadcast to the world. People are going to be surprising you, and you're going to be surprising people. And there's just going to be these random things happening, I feel like, that are like catalytic for this. And these are going to become more commonplace experiences, actually, I think, over this next couple of years. This beginning of this new phase of personal growth and transformation, where we are taking back some level of power and we are initiating organically. This is just what this energy is going to be compelling us to do, initiating a phase of personal leadership in our lives based on a redefined relationship to ourselves and to the authentic truth, value, and potential that we've come to discover within as a result of this past 2-year eclipse cycle, karmic detox cycle with the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio that we are closing the door on as of this new moon right now, okay? So there's so many levels and layers and dimensions of things coming together, like arriving in this moment and indicating what is to come now moving forward into this new future. But we are finally coming to a period of time where we're not going to have a choice any longer but to come clean, to get real with ourselves and others. This is also a personal upgrade, okay? We are becoming an upgraded version of actually who we really truly are, other than, you know, continuing to pretend to be someone that we're not in order to appease some level of our experience somehow, you know, a relationship dynamic, a friend group, a reputation, okay? This is the point. People are arriving at the end of the road in terms of maintaining false pretenses. Like I said, I feel like this period of time, this month, maybe even these days and this next 2 years is representing the death of the facade. We've also got Venus in Libra coming into a conjunction with the South Node in Libra. That is also going to represent release and detachment from that which is no longer a reflection of our value, of our worth, and like of our wants and desires and likes and value systems and stuff like that anymore as well. We'll be talking about that more in the coming days, but also indicated, you know, just the way that energy is coming together for this particular new moon. Value now and going forward will be placed in what is real, what is authentic, and what is true, and the power and the potential that is associated with that in terms of the growth factor and what can come from the organic growth. Activating destiny is gonna, like, it's hard to explain, but it seems, I feel like as we are sort of gaining a more sensitive relationship to these more subtle energetic fields around us, and it could be, you know, calling into question a lot of our belief systems up until this period of time. I do feel like it's going to open up a lot of potentials for us or opportunities that maybe we had thought long gone, and you know, we're really gonna begin to have a different perception of what could come to be. And I feel like it will put a greater emphasis on the striving to be more, to grow more, and to understand the truth of our purpose and what our destiny or potential could be, being more emphasized. You know, also with the North Node translating the sign of Aries over the course of this time as well, which is about this personal mission, this journey to sword self-mastery and to like overcoming personal weaknesses and sort of the things maybe that have held us back in the past. People fighting for what's fair, like I said, with the Libra themes and the twos and the nakshatra placement of the planets for this new moon. Rebelling against injustice, oppression, no longer willing to bend the knee. And you guys are never going to guess what the actual Sabian symbol is for the new moon. I couldn't really believe it when I looked at it myself, but the new moon, the sun and the moon coming together, 21 degrees of Scorpio in a conjunction to Mars at 23 Scorpio and in opposition to Uranus at 22 Scorpio. Well, 21 degrees of Scorpio, that Sabian symbol is obeying his conscience. A soldier resists orders. So right, like smack dab in alignment with the Mars-Uranus opposition, with the sun there. This is literally like, if it goes against my moral compass, if I sense that there is like corruption or underhandedness, or if this is, you know, in any way stemming from like some type of deception or something like that, or if it's just like out of alignment with integrity or authenticity and truth, I'm no longer willing to bend the knee. Like I'm no longer willing to submit, you know what I mean? Like I'm not, like people are going to be compelled, right? Like I've said, like this sudden instinct to do the right thing, whereas maybe in the past they would have bent the knee more, or they would have, you know, betrayed their conscience in order to maintain the peace or the facade, or, you know, some semblance of order somehow. If that order was in a way that was unbalanced or not reciprocal or unjust or, you know, cruel or whatever, low vibe frequency, not in alignment with the Aquarian energy that's coming in any type of way. The galactic fixtures at work, you guys. Uranus rules revolutions. Uranus rules rebellion. This is likely to be a highly, highly, highly rebellious period of time. Again, people shocking you with their abrupt changes in actions. And we literally have a symbol talking about following his conscience. A soldier refuses orders. Obeying his conscience, a soldier resists orders. So I feel like that is that's like such an energetic exclamation point on the end of all these other vibrational indications coming through about, you know, what this period of time is likely to be representing, indicating, and, you know, functioning as in our experience. Okay, so breakthroughs, breakdowns, breakups, right? This volatile energy, people probably both on edge and also highly excitable. This is a very excitable energy. People are probably very fired up. Again, this is like electricity in the air, super amplified, very ungrounded energy. It's hard to keep our composure also. It can be also just like a very enthusiastic, very invigorated energy. We could sort of feel like we're levitating like a couple inches above the ground. Just it also reminds me of like when you're scrolling through the radio dials, okay, and it's like static, but then all of a sudden like one channel comes through super clear. Like that's also kind of a generalized vibe I feel like that is in the energy field right now with all this Uranus energy. Maybe kind of like a static, like a general like sense of static electricity, but like every once in a while just like this like lightning hitting the tower, or like the lightning rod or whatever, and just this like super clear signal that comes through like every once in a while that has something of significance to it somehow. Do not provoke explosions, you guys, of any kind, be it in like an experimental nature or in terms of like triggering other people in some type of a way. This, though it is, I will say, you know, some of the best use of this energy is for anybody who is of an inventive nature, engineering, insanely high vibe creative potential right now for technological innovations, for inventions, for advancement, especially things to do with like healing or energy healing, or like deep water, oceans, oil with the Scorpio influence, or also like food production or resources or building, currency as well, precious metals. I would definitely keep an eye on cryptocurrency over this period of time. I would not be surprised if there were some big moves in the crypto markets coming up here over this next month and moving through the winter. Amazing inventions coming spontaneously. This is like Nikola Tesla energy I feel like we got going on, and advancements that are pending. We are going to, especially also as Pluto prepares to leave Capricorn and move into Aquarius, we are headed towards technological revolution like we have not seen in our recorded experience, you guys. There is about to be a huge invention boom coming up here throughout the rest of this decade. And it's really probably going to be starting like right around now, heading towards sci-fi world, I really do believe. People are just going to be very fired up, like I said, and very ungrounded. This energy also, aside from feeling sort of like the static on the radio dial and then every once in a while coming in crystal clear, to me, when we have strong Uranus energy, and other people, you guys might have a similar experience like this if you're very sensitive to the Uranian frequencies, it feels like a literal drug, like a literal stimulant, and it can make you have like physical reactions to this energy as though you were on some type of stimulant. Like I'm talking, you know, sweaty palms, fast pulse, like pacing back and forth, a racing mind, inability to relax. And with the Scorpio Sun, Moon, Mars conjunction as well. Like this could be any obsession or compulsion with doing something or getting something done. Like we could feel just like such a strong focus towards needing to complete something, needing to figure something out, needing to get to the bottom of something, any type of research. Like people could be going down some very deep rabbit holes that lead to some type of super intense awakening and personal transformation at this period of time. This is also this like obsessive compulsive behavior, but along the lines of this like hyper stimulation as well. So if you find yourself feeling generally like exceedingly cracked out in the energy over this next couple of days, couple of weeks, it's this Uranus energy. Like like I said, I don't know about you guys, but when Uranus is strong, I have noticed it literally feels like I'm on some type of upper, like some type of stimulant. So it could be that, okay? But overall, you guys, epic times that we are in. Remember these 3 cycles that are playing out right now, ending, shutting the door, finalizing the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle that we've been dealing with this past couple of years, on the verge of beginning a brand new and very dynamic cycle of Mars and the Sun that's going to unfold over this next couple of years, and hitting the midpoint of the Mars-Uranus cycle that actually, and I haven't even mentioned it in this report, like that Mars-Uranus cycle that began on August 1st of 2022 when Mars and Uranus aligned in the sign of Taurus, it was actually even way more significant, of greater significance than I'm giving it credit in this report. I talked more about it in my last one because it was also in an alignment exactly with the North Node, and that hadn't happened in like over 2,000 years. So that was like a really big fated alignment, North Node, the destiny point, letting us know, okay, this next Mars-Uranus cycle that we have come to the midpoint of as of this new moon right here was again like this 11-11 energy happening from a very high, divinely ordained, like cosmic blueprint, hand of God type of level playing out. Universe has the wheel right now, you guys. We're probably not going to understand. A lot of the stuff that's going on right now may very well make no sense. It might seem a lot worse than it actually turns out to be. It could feel very chaotic, very unsettling. Like I've said, this is more of a crisis-oriented, accident-prone energy. But it's also like making us act in ways that are showing us who we truly could be if we would stop pretending. You know what I mean? Like, and as we're moving into this age of Aquarius, which is an age of self-knowledge, this is an age of self-mastery, this is an age of, you know, co-creating our reality and our experiences in a much more conscious level according to the truth of our purpose than, you know, we have been or we've experienced, you know, generationally or, you know, generally up until this point in time. We're being activated and put back online in a way that humanity has not experienced in a very long period of time. And it really is an amazing time to be here and to be a part of this experience, despite the very, maybe a bit disconcerting and, you know, uncomfortable, unpredictable nature of things. But no fear, you guys. We also have Saturn right now at 0 degrees of Pisces. This is telling us that our foundation truly needs to be our faith. If there's one thing that we can trust, if there's one thing that we can rely on, if there's one like rock that we can stand on, it is the faith that things are happening according to a higher plan right now. Everything that is happening for us in order to facilitate a personal upgrade that universe is ordaining on us at this moment. And we do not want to resist the changes that are happening now. We want to surrender to things. We want to try to be more stoic in our approach to judging that which is happening in front of us. You know, just because something is happening and it may not on its surface appear to be, you know, what we wanted or something that we would choose or, you know, the best option in this scenario, there's a good chance that it actually is. And as time plays out and as the cards fall and as the dust clears, we will come to understand that there was some type of, you know, miraculous nature to what happened. And actually we are like so thankful that things played out the way that they did. Okay, just a couple more things to sort of reiterate and emphasize right now. This like sudden attack type of situation, there could be some like sudden hacking situations, also like financial hacks. There's something going on, you guys, with the Uranus and Taurus right now, and you know, Venus and Libra, and all the way that this energy is coming together. There is something going on that is going to implicate financial systems, economies, banking systems, currency, value of things somehow. And again, like this is indicating there could be some type of like cyber attack, or just like some types of sudden attacks generally that perhaps are like involved in these themes somehow. You know, we are obviously also in sort of a very tense, high pressure situation right now in terms of like conflict levels globally, and various things that are playing out, and transitions of power that are going on right now. So there could be some very unexpected explosive events happening on a world stage, okay? And like having to do with this like sudden unexpected attack type of theme as well. And just major changes, you guys, are coming with this. Like that is one thing that we can definitely be sure of, that things are not going to be the same after this period of time that we move through right now as well. Also investments, loans, inheritances, like things like that along the financial end of things, and these strong maybe storms and stuff like that as well could also be going on. But very, very fated times, very, very epic times. And like I said, these are the years that history is made, you guys. The history books will look back and highlight the days, weeks, years, moments that are playing out and that are unfolding before us now. So that's what I have to say, you guys. That's my interpretation of the energy that we have coming through. I want to do something I don't usually do and actually read you guys all of the Sabian symbols that we have present for our new moon today. I feel like the symbolism and the position of the planets, and I'm not going to, you know, put my interpretation on all of these. This is symbolism. Let the symbols speak to you as they will, you know, develop your own relationship with how universe speaks and communicates to you. So I'm gonna leave it at that, but I am gonna read all of these because I feel like they're very significant and they're speaking. And we need hints, you guys, because the Uranian energy, everything's so unpredictable right now. So anyways, like I said, the position of the new moon itself, sun and moon coming together, 21 degrees of Scorpio, obeying his conscience, a soldier resists orders. The position of the earth, always in a polar opposition to the sun, 21 degrees of Taurus, a moving finger points to significant passages in a book. Remember I told you guys, you know, awakening, gaining awareness. We are seeing the truth about things. We are figuring something out, okay? Mercury at 5 degrees of Sagittarius, an old owl up in a tree. Venus at 6 degrees of Libra. A man watches his ideals taking a concrete form before his inner vision. Mars at 23 degrees of Scorpio, a bunny metamorphosed into a fairy. This is an upgrade, you guys, an energetic upgrade, okay? We are finding our power, okay? Jupiter at 10 degrees of Taurus, a Red Cross nurse. Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces, a crowded public marketplace. Uranus at 22 Taurus, a white dove flying straight and fearlessly over troubled water. We rise above, you guys, and we ride on our faith, okay? Neptune, 26 Pisces, a new moon reveals that it's time for people to go ahead with their different projects. This new moon, this is the beginning and the end, but it's a radical rebirth, okay, in terms of our own personal identity. Time to go, time to move forward. Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, a woman reading tea leaves. prophecy coming to pass, right? Like these are the times that are perhaps have been foretold, that are unfolding according to this divine alignment that is coming into place right now. The north and the south node, you guys, 25 degrees of Aries and Libra, 25 Aries where the north node is. A double promise reveals its inner and outer meanings, revelations, seeing the deeper level, seeing the authentic truth as the destined path, right? And the south node, what we're detaching ourselves from, what we're being released from on a karmic level, the sight of an autumn leaf brings to the pilgrim the sudden revelations of the mysteries of life and death. This is a personal death and rebirth experience, personal transformation, metamorphosis, transmutation, release from karmic cycles, okay? And then even the position of the black moon, 5 degrees of Virgo, a man becoming aware of nature spirits and normally unseen spiritual forces. This immersion or increased sensitivity to the energetic fields around us and our ability to perceive them in more tangible ways, growing throughout the course of this next couple of years. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys. That is the whole tea in my perception for our new moon in the sign of Scorpio. I can't stress the epic nature of the times that we are in, so I'm going to stop talking, but let's get a synchronicity card now. Just shot right out. I didn't even have to shuffle. It says drink of inspiration. So let's see. This is what universe wants us to take with us moving into this period of time, and to sort of remember, keep us maybe like a mantra throughout the course of this cycle. As cold water to a weary soul, so is good news from a far country. Proverbs 25:25. You thirst spiritually when you lack joy, peace, inspiration, and confidence. Claim the living waters of the Almighty flow through you as wisdom, truth, and beauty, and as joy, harmony, power, and love. Accept this as your own, and you will then draw from your spiritual waters all you need to give sustenance to your soul. So we are filling ourselves up, you guys, on an energetic level, and we are aligning with the higher frequencies of the potential that we are being pulled towards right now, perhaps despite some more troubled waters below. All right, so that's what I have to say, you guys. Probably going to be a wild ride, but remember, victory, right? This triumphal archway, like moving to a better place, some type of personal victory is going to be the outcome of whatever it is that's going on right now. So that's that. All right, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested in this type of thing as well. Leave me comments. So grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you're having experiences that are manifesting in alignment with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. Your info is super valuable to me, and I value your presence here as well. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I post it in a Facebook group that I have that is linked in my description box below. And come back with me, you guys, on Wednesday. We are going to have another big video, another big moment, right? We've got the Mars-Sun exact conjunction that is happening on the 15th. So we're going to be picking up where we left off, you guys, and talking even more about this new 2-year cycle, Mars and the Sun, that is headed our way. So I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you next time, you guys. Have a really beautiful new moon. And until next time, bye.